Well, hello, everybody. So what do you think? This is the Elgato Facecam 4K today compared to yesterday's Panasonic Lumix GH3. Definitely seems darker here, but I think it was darker here in the other one too. That's a lighting issue. Huh. Color temperature is a little different. Magandang umaga, Raymond. Hello, Clinton. Hello, BGMNCWJ. So many things to say. I am excited to do a little editor's desk for you all today and get your impressions on this camera. Elgato Facecam. Let's show you which one I'm talking. I can't show you the actual camera because I actually figured out how to get it installed. Got it all installed. Interesting thing about the install is it's taller because, as I was showing you yesterday, the prompter assembly attaches to the actual tripod itself versus with the Panasonic attaches to the tripod and then the prompter assembly hangs off the camera. That means, you know, here's the camera, here's the prompter assembly. It's a little lower, right? And then if the prompter assembly is on the tripod, well, then it's up there. So the camera's a little farther up. I don't know if you can notice that. What's nice is it means I can keep my monitor fully up instead of having to push it down, which is kind of fun. I don't know if fun is the right word, but it's good. It's good. All is good. So yeah, if you get a chance, you don't have to do it in chat right now, but go take a look at yesterday's office hours and then look at this. Now look at you, now look at me. Take a look at you, now look at me. If you know, you know. And then tell me what you think of the Elgato Facecam Pro. Don't blame all of its problems on it. It's the Facecam 4K, I should say, not the Facecam Pro. I'm sure there are things I could be doing. There's a lot of settings in it that you can do. Like this is not the default. In fact, maybe I should show you that. This is not the default view. Let me get there. I think that's the default view, right? I'm a little farther down here. It's a little zoomed out. I could bring it in closer, of course, and I could bring it down, but then it would be behind my monitor. I have to move my monitor down, and bringing it closer means redoing the monitor stand and all of that. So instead, I just do the preset. Biggity boggity boo. If you put your chin up too much, you can see the glare of your lights. That's always true, though. I have got lights in my eyes. Oh, yeah, I bought that hat rack, Fred. Oh, here. I'll go out to the wide. Yeah, it gives me options. I bought that hat rack on Amazon. I just looked up a retail hat rack, you know, something for a retail store. And then bought it and assembled it. Yeah, it's a little darker. I'm not sure how to best deal with that. There's no brightness setting. There's contrast, saturation, and sharpness. I mean, that helps. Is that too much though? I'm pretty red. This is where I'm like, some of this is user error. Some of it is me not necessarily having the exact right situation. I'm doing automatic white balance too. That makes it a little less dark though. And now I look redder. Yeah, exactly, Razin. I don't know what compensation does. Ooh, okay. Maybe then I can bring the saturation back down and not be so red. Good evening. Yeah, that definitely helped. Whatever that was, it helped. All right, thank you. That was helpful of you as well. Please say the name of the movie you would like to see. So yeah, this is the camera I'm using, the Facecam 4K. That big old lens there, that's why it wouldn't fit in the previous prompter mount for Elgato cameras, because the prompter mount is only as big as the body. It didn't accommodate that big old lens. I also have a diffusion insert on there, which I wonder if I should take off since I'm using the prompter. That might help with the brightness issue. But yeah, it's a nice camera. It is certainly nicer in the practical sense of I sit down and I start doing things. I don't have to go and do focus, which I had to do with the DSLR. DSLR had autofocus, but it was sometimes unpredictable and Joe didn't like it at all. So I stopped using it. It would change in the middle of a shoot, you know, stuff like that. It's not really great. Whereas this one stays pretty autofocused pretty nicely. And yeah, it's got a lighting bundle. I don't think I need a lighting bundle. This is what happens. This is a bad idea. Now I'm going to start buying things. Yeah, I have that CPL lens filter on it. I wonder if I should take that off while it's in the prompter. It's probably not a bad idea. And there's nothing wrong with the DSLR. It's more that I saw that this is capable of replacing a DSLR and was like, well, let's do a side-by-side comparison. Let's find out. That DSLR is 7 years old now. So, you know, let's find out. I may go back to the DSLR, honestly, and just may use this for like my road. It would replace my C920 for my road stuff because it's really good. Yeah, the trick with the DSLR is to set autofocus, then switch to manual after it sets itself. Except I would have to do that every time, so I might as well just focus if I'm going to have to do that every time, because that camera loses its set point when you turn it off. Have any other Mac users who've upgraded to 26 encountered insufficient disk space issues? No, I haven't upgraded yet because I didn't want to mess with it. But yeah, where was I going? Oh, I might switch back to the DSLR, but the advantage really, if the picture is equivalent, which I think it's slightly less good, but it's close, then it's easier because I don't have to get up. I don't have to mess with it. I don't have to have so many settings. What settings I do need to tweak, I can tweak from here through software. Those settings can then be saved to the camera, so that when I do go on the road, it's got the exact same settings. It's got presets, so I can be like, that's my setting for the studio. This is my setting for a hotel room. So that's really nice. Fakey is on Patreon and says, I can't really tell if the quality is as good with Patreon's bad compression. That's sad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Patreon's munging the video feed or not, or if it's just this. But you could go look at YouTube and compare and then say, that's what it is. Or Twitch. But yeah, I think I like it. I can't decide if I want to leave it permanently. Man, it is nice to just sit down and start working, not have to fiddle with it and all of that. Oh, I look sharper today too. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I might try it for DTNS Live this week too and see what Joe thinks. Clinton's doing the full-on side-by-side. Thank you, Clinton. That's awesome. Clinton thinks yesterday was sharper. Of course, some of that could also be that you're looking at a post-processed video versus live, but that's good to know. Good to know. All right. Time for editor's desk. It's time for the editor's desk. But where is my editor's desk? Where did I put that? There it is. Bing bong. Yeah, totally, Clinton. It could be the difference between live and recorded. Okie dokie. Where's my editor's desk? audio hijack. Problem with doing all these new streams and everything is like all my routines. I'm so routine oriented. If you change your routine on me, suddenly I fall apart. I am just unable to cope. It's really not even that I fall apart. It's that I have to think about every single thing I do. Okay, I got my editor's desk questions ready. Okay, here we go. And 3, 2, 1.
And now, the editor's desk.
Ah, yes, now is the editor's desk. Thank you, Howard. Maybe that'll be the start of the editor's desk. I'll just thank you, Howard. And now to your questions. Got 3 editor's desk emails this week. If you are a patron, keep them coming. feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. I love to hear them. Kevin asked this, and I don't know that it was specifically for the editor's desk necessarily, but I think it's a good question to deal with on the editor's desk. Kevin says, in a recent DTNS episode, you brought up something I've heard you say frequently. If you get value from the show, please consider signing up for Patreon to support us. I know Patreon is the lifeblood of DTNS. Empire? Channel? Movement? Network? Company? What do you prefer? I don't know. Whenever I run into this when I'm writing something, I just bail and go, DTNS. It's the lifeblood of DTNS. That's all you got to say. Anyway, back to Kevin's words. Kevin says, anyway, it got me thinking about ways to directly target folks to think about that. I don't know if I represent your average Patreon subscriber, but I wanted to let you know how I think about this. I think about putting specific value on things that people can relate to instead of the abstract get value comment when I look at supporting something. I think about something I'm willing to spend my money on. Let's take, for example, movies. Lots of people are willing to pay $20 to go to a movie that may last 2 or so hours. That's $10 per hour of entertainment content. I wonder if mixing things up in the public feed about things folks are interested in might be helpful. Here are a few examples that leap readily to mind. For each of the following, follow up with, do you find DTNS engaging enough to join our Patreon at patreon.com/DTNS? Which is the same value. Okay, let's try them out. Kevin suggests, would you spend $20 to watch a 2-hour movie that you found engaging? If you find DTNS engaging, you can join our Patreon at half that cost per month. Do you enjoy a $3 cup of Starbucks every day? Do you find DTNS engaging enough to join our Patreon at patreon.com/DTNS, which is the same value? Do you always buy the next video game in a franchise you love? Do you find DTNS engaging enough to join our Patreon at patreon.com/DTNS, which is the same value? So there you go. Those are good. I like those examples. I might tweak the language a little bit, but it's good. Back to Kevin's words. To be clear, I grew up very poor and I have to rationalize how I spend money I have. While I'm over 50, I have heard from younger generations that many of them also think this way. It took someone asking me what I thought time per hour was worth to get over that. I was a philosophy student, so the whole time is the only thing you can't buy more of in life. How do you put a value to it? Moved me a bit. I suspect this doesn't have to be something you figure out alone. Probably folks who already support my Patreon would have even better examples. Perhaps it's worth asking folks who support to give a 15-second, I support DTNS because XYZ. If that's something you think could be of value, maybe it would be worth it to bring it up on the editor's desk to see if other Patreon supporters would be willing to tell their reason. Maybe it's a perk. Patreon subscribers could record a sub 15-second, I support DTNS because I get the value XXXXX. There could be various ways to surface these kind of dialogues. Maybe a Patreon brainstorm chat could be helpful, or, well, who knows? I don't have all the answers. Perhaps putting some options for ways to think about things could be helpful. Anyway, that's how my brain works. If anything in that was of value, please feel free to leverage it as you see fit. I'm happy to collaborate if there's a way it makes sense. Thanks for all you and your team do. These are great. And I actually wrote back to Kevin and I said, that's how most people's brain works, and the comparisons you suggest are co-spidered. I wrote co-spidered instead of considered. The comparisons you suggest are considered classic best practices for fundraising. The classic, for the price of a cup of coffee, you could feed 2 children. I love the idea of having patrons provide recordings like that. It adds social proof to value relatability. So yeah, Is there, is there something that comes to mind for you and you're like, oh yeah, instead of spending $3 a day on coffee, I subscribe to DTNS and get more value out of it. I'm John or Pat or Kelly. I'm Kelly. Join me at patreon.com/DTNS. I think that'd be great. I love that. Hey, thanks for the sub, Chaz Basden. Good to see you. So yeah, if anybody wants to try that, by all means, shoot a recording my way in the easiest way possible for you. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com works, whatever works. And Kevin, I will hit you up for a collaboration. What do y'all think of that? I think it's pretty cool. I like it. Oh, and Matthew J. Stevens likes the jingle. I'm glad you do. But yeah, I'd be happy to entertain those. I think it's a really cool idea. R.W. Nash commented on our post. Which one of these, see? Question for the editor's desk. Here we go. Gmail just strings all the Patreon posts from the same person together in one thread. So if one is for the editor's desk, it puts all of them in the editor's desk file. Anyway, RW with question for editor's desk. How does the podcast posting process work for all the different feeds, please? Wow, so many hats. Yes, it's a lot of hats. Okay, so the podcast posting process for all the different feeds works fairly similarly. I'll try to keep this simple, but we record the file. Let's just do audio because video is a little different. But for audio, it's almost exactly the same. We record the audio. The audio could either be recorded on Audio Hijack, which is how I do it, or it could be taken out of StreamYard. We use StreamYard to stream, and you can download just the audio portion of a video recording and use that as well. And so Joe will usually do that for DTNS Live. Right now for this one, I'm just doing Editor's Desk and Audio Hijack. And then you post that audio in multiple places if it's a public feed. All right. So Daily Tech News Show, DTNS Live, Daily Tech Headlines, live with it. Those are all public. So you post the audio file in Acast. Go to acast.com, log in as a podcaster, upload the file there, add the head and the deck and all of that stuff. The deck is the description, which has, what the episode is about, link to the show notes and all that. Then you go to Substack and you do the same thing. You upload it to Substack, you write in all the Substack fields, you choose, in Substack's case, actually, you know what? In Acast case, you choose too, but in Acast case, you go into the episode, the show that you're doing. Say I'm doing Daily Tech Headlines, I go into Daily Tech Headlines, then I upload. Substack, you upload, and then you choose Daily Tech Headlines. So it's slightly different there. Then you publish. Patreon, you go in, you upload, you type in all your headlines and your descriptions and everything. You choose Daily Tech Headlines or whatever show it is. You press publish. And then the last one we do is WordPress. So you go to WordPress, you take the embed code from Acast and put it in there so you get the embedded player. You take the link from Acast, so you got a download link. We have a template for everything else. You put in the headline, you put it in the description, you publish it on WordPress, and you're done. Bum, 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 bum. If it's video, then we either publish it to Spotify or the video feed. We upload it to YouTube, and that's it. With Twitch, you do a live Twitch stream and it becomes archived and it's only there for a while anyway. With YouTube, you can make the live version be the version, which I think is what we do now. But you could also not make the live version not be the version and replace it later. And then for Patreon, if you have the video, you can, and this is what I'll do today, you can say, take that video and make it a podcast, and it will convert the video to audio and deliver it as an audio podcast for you. So yeah, Razin, that sounds like a lot of repetitive work that could be automated someday. Yes, or some way. Yes. And every time we've tried, it's failed. So one of these days, these agents are gonna make it work. But we want to make sure that we have quality control over it. and that we're not thinking it published and it didn't. So it's one of the reasons we haven't automated all of that. But I'm not against it as long as it works. So there you go. That is the detail. If you want more detail, please follow up with another question and I will provide more detail. Final editor's desk question from Alan for this week. Hey, Tom and crew. How long do you keep old episodes available? Is there any cost to you in keeping old episodes available? Do you ever look back and see things that haven't been downloaded in years and remove them? After you stop a show, do you go back years later and delete them? Or do you just leave everything up forever? A few episodes ago, you were talking about show revenue and costs, and it just got me thinking about such things. Keep up the great work. Love the show, Alan. Thanks, Alan. Good question. I have never had to worry about storage costs for the shows. We used archive.org originally. Then we used a free version of SoundCloud, and now we use Acast. In all those cases, I didn't have to pay extra for storing files. With archive.org, they're in the business of wanting to have everything that's on the internet, so I was doing them a favor by uploading it directly, so they already had it. But they're not in the business of providing on-demand access to files to hundreds of thousands of people at the same time. So at a certain point, we had to switch. We switched to SoundCloud because they offered an easy way to do an RSS feed and pretty much unlimited storage. It was kind of undefined. We didn't know if at some point we'd come up against a limit. And then at Acast, when we switched to Acast, basically in exchange for us letting them sell ads and keep a cut of those ads, they give us the storage. So as long as we don't say, you can't sell ads on our shows anymore, that storage can stay up there. Now, in the past, I've had places where we were storing it and the storage went away. That happened to some of the Buzz Out Loud episodes at CNET, and at some of the episodes at Twit as well. But I have not run into that yet. So I never think about going back and deleting old episodes. I do wonder sometimes if, since we moved to SoundCloud and later Acast, if we should be better about making sure they all get uploaded to archive so that they're preserved. But a lot of them have shown up there anyway. I don't know if it's fans doing it or archive doing it or whatever, but I'm good with that. They're Creative Commons licensed for a reason. So there you go, Alan. I don't think about the cost of storage. I'm not saying I'll never have to think about it. We may get to a world where the economics change and they're like, where Acast is like, well, we can't store your old episodes anymore. The fact is, hard drive storage has been increasing and cloud storage costs per kilobyte have been dropping. Even though cloud storage costs are going up, you get more for what you pay. So yeah, cloud storage, cloud access, at AWS or whatever, may cost more now, but they'll give you more storage. They'll give you more bytes than they used to. And so with audio being so small, I don't expect it's something I'll ever really run into. But never say never, because that's the best way to have it happen to you, when you say it'll never happen to you. Well, there you go, folks. Thank you for all of these comments. I definitely appreciate them. I am going to ask specifically, send me any Editor's Desk question that you have, feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. I'm going to specifically solicit, okay, September, we changed things up a little bit again in a smaller way. How you feeling about it? What surprised you? What's different? Feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. I appreciate it very much. That's it for the Editor's Desk. I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Dun 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 dun. Bump. Yeah, if I'm going to sit there and watch it, I'd rather just do it, Razin. But that's a very old man of me to say that. In a utilitarian world, there'd be bridges between WordPress, Patreon, and Substack. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. Well, I'm not surprised there isn't, because they all want to throw up walls. WordPress would do it. I don't know about Patreon. Patreon used to have some WordPress integration, but it fell apart. It costs money to maintain that stuff. All righty then. And yeah, if anybody knows a tool that's like, this'll do Substack, Patreon, and WordPress all at once, I doubt it would ever do Acast, but that'd be a help, even if it just did those. But again, every time I've ever used those sorts of things, there's always something where you're like, oh, but it doesn't do that right. Or that field doesn't carry over, or that sort of thing. So for quality control, we haven't done it yet. Again, never say never. Never say never again. All right. I've got to publish this editor's desk, and I need to know what to call it. So I need to create a post. And hello, Adam12. How DTNS publishes itself. Editor's desk. That works, right? Tom answers questions about how DTNS publishes. Oh, actually, no, I want to change that. I haven't really kept close, Sunbun, of the Substack alternatives, but they had not reached feature parity last I looked. Certainly, they didn't have the big advantage of Substack, which is the recommendation engine. All right. What's DTNS value to you? Kevin suggests that folks record messages, 15-second messages, about how DTNS is more valuable than cheap things in their life, like coffee or movies. Let's take cheap out. Some people may like movies aren't cheap. Tom also answers questions about how DTNS publishes and if it keeps its files online forever. All right. That seems like it works. Yeah. Hello, Gotham Heights. Okie doke. Let's move that editor's desk into the upload spot. And then all tiers. No, actually, only associate producer and up. Get it? Delivered. It's a bonus episode. And that's that. I published it. That's how long it takes to publish the editor's desk. Big Flatus. DTNS Live is Thursdays at this very time. And DTNS is every day, which you can find in your podcatcher of choice. All right, Nick with a C's got a question. What alternatives to Acast exist for podcast publishing now? Lots. Spotify is probably a big one. Blueberry has been around for a long time, is really good. Libsyn is like OG and is very popular. Podcast publishing services. A lot of people are just using Substack to publish their podcast. Podbean is still kicking. Podbean's OG too. Apple has a list of them. Wow. Oh, Blueberry, Buzzsprout. I've never heard of Audio Means or Audion. It says Apple just has a list of these on its creators thing. Castos, First Story. There's Libsyn, Omni Studio, Podspace, RSS.com. I forgot about them. Simplecast, Transistor, and Zimalaya. Does not have Spotify. Oh, there we go. Acast. Did I miss Acast or was it not on the main page? Oh, see, the main page was their own. This is the comprehensive. Riverside does show submission, but I don't think it does subscription support. Acast. Oh, Acast doesn't do subscription support? It does show submission. Oh, it's not. Oh, Acast isn't tied into Apple's show submission system. That's why. And that's why it's on the second page. Anyway, lots of them. Tons of them. Oh, you're right, G. James B. Let me fix that. I wasn't thinking. I was thinking S being a plural, but it's not in this case. It's an acronym. So republishing. Thank you for catching that. You need to sign into Spotify. It doesn't count for podcasts. Well, okay. No, Spotify counts as a podcast platform because you can host your podcast on Spotify and distribute it to non-Spotify places. So if you are using Spotify the way I use Acast, it goes everywhere. It goes to Apple Podcasts. It becomes an RSS feed that's freely available. Pocket Cast can use it. It's not limited to the Spotify platform. So it's basically Spotify bought Anchor, which I used to use to publish Daily Tech headlines, and incorporated it to become Spotify for creators. And it's a podcast publishing platform just like Acast. And when I say just like Acast, there are feature differences, of course, but it's not limited to like, well, if you use Spotify to publish your podcast, it only goes to Spotify. That's not true. It goes everywhere you want to be, just like Visa. Jay's building their own podcast host. Very cool. Is it okay to use Google Rewards to pay my DTNS subscription on Google Play? I don't get anything for that. There is no DTNS subscription on Google Play that is authorized by us. The only way to pay for a subscription to DTNS to get ad-free versions of the show is to pay Patreon or Substack. Those are the only authorized ways to do it. If you're giving us money on YouTube, that's helpful. It's like a donation. It does not get you an ad-free version. You'd have to pay YouTube Premium for that. And that's for the entire thing. If you give us stuff on Twitch, that's nice. It's a subscription. And I guess it's the same thing as YouTube. If you pay to get rid of ads on Twitch, they'll get rid of ads on Twitch, but it's not an RSS feed. So if I don't know what DTNS subscription someone is trying to sell you on Google Play, but as far as I know, it's not me. If you subscribe on Twitch, you're helping us out a little bit, and I will never say no to any help. But you're not paying for the subscription of everything. You're just paying Twitch. Oh, you meant Twitch. Okay. That makes me feel a lot better that someone's out there not trying to take our money. If you use Google Rewards to pay for Twitch, I don't know that Twitch sees it any differently on our end. It's still going to send us a cut of your subscription either way. So, yeah, I think that's fine. But don't pay for anything on Google Play, because that ain't us. Stealth Dave just won Tech News Bingo with this Gizmodo headline. LimeWire buys Fire Festival on eBay. That's amazing. Twitch on Google Play costs more than Twitch on a browser. Oh, you're paying for your Twitch subscription through the Google Play app. I see. Okay. LimeWire buys Fire Festival on eBay. If you do Patreon, do you lose your Twitch rank? They're not connected. So supporting us on Patreon gives us more money. It has no effect on Twitch at all. They're not connected in any way. Wow. Where is eBay? I can't find one that says on eBay. But I'm finding all these LimeWire. LimeWire acquires Fire Festival, has vague plans to offer real experiences. LimeWire is now an NFT marketplace. Okay. It has acquired the rights to the Fire Festival, which means it bought the intellectual property. It bought the name and any logos and all of that. For $245,000 in an eBay auction. There it is. Nice. So the intellectual property of Fire Festival was worth $245,000. A separate plan to use the Fire Festival to launch a new music streaming service was announced in April 2025. Fire became a symbol of hype gone wrong, but it also made history, LimeWire CEO Julian Zehetmeyer said. We're not bringing the festival back. We're bringing the brand and the meme back to life with real experiences and without cheese sandwiches. LimeWire might want to turn Fire Festival into a physical perk of the digital collectibles. Okay, company is planning to reveal a reimagined vision for Fire in the coming months that expands beyond the digital realm, taps into real-world experiences. Of course, originally, so LimeWire succeeded just now. You may be like, why would they ever want that? Why would they want that? Because then you get Engadget, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Stereo Gum, Yahoo. You get all of these companies there's the Gizmodo one you were talking about. You get all of these people writing you up. Now everyone goes, what's LimeWire doing again? And then they go and look at it. And with the spam effect, less than 1% of the people who read this story need to now spend money on an NFT on LimeWire for this to be absolutely worth it for LimeWire and get on the way to making back their $245,000 if they get enough subscriptions. You don't sell IP on eBay, Nick with a C. eBay has an auction arm where they do auctions. So it's not buying it on eBay the way you and I buy an old toaster on eBay. It's just an auction that eBay held. Ooh, Fire Festival with LimeWire, Stoic Squirrel points out, could be Firewire. I'd spell it with a Y though. Absolutely, because you can. And it's Stealth Dave nailed it. We now know that LimeWire still exists. And that NFTs are still a thing. So that is definitely why they did it. And at that point, they can juice that more by, now that everybody's heard about this and had a good laugh, they'll put out something, they'll hold an event, and everybody will cover that once, and then it'll die. And everyone will forget about it, but LimeWire will have picked up new customers. And if they're lucky, that gets them, enough ongoing revenue to develop things and, continue their product. It's a strategy. I'm not saying it's one I'd employ, but, there's still Excite. Here's Excite.com. Somebody's making money off of it. With quick links to eBay, StubHub, Casper Mattresses, QuickBooks, Ancestry. These are all paid. Yeah, look at that. This is Ask.com, which owns Excite's IP and knows that every once in a while somebody goes to Excite. So why not have a page that'll capture that traffic and possibly move somebody along? Yeah, no cookie warning at Excite.com. That was interesting, Nick. Why can't people just retire old brands? Why? My problem with that question is that it precludes unexpected and cool things from happening. Let people try stuff. I don't have a problem with people trying stuff and failing. It's how we get cool stuff. And yeah, I know 99% of those tries are going to fail, but the 1% of times they do try, it's like, yeah, these are the kinds of things where you look at successes and you never remember that somebody was saying that about a success if it was a unique idea. You can't say, why doesn't anybody have new ideas? And why do people have to, why can't people not do this? Because if you bring back an old brand, it might succeed and you make something new out of it. And that's kind of cool. Yeah. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying, Stoic Squirrel. He's like, yeah, but the Excite thing's just a zombie brand. And to me, it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know that I judge them for that. I mean, they're not hurting anybody. They've just got a page up, and if somebody goes to it, they might use it. So no one gets harmed by having excite.com. Now, if it was like giving you spyware or stealing your information or something, I'd feel differently, but this is a pretty safe page. Yeah, whoever bought the Atari brand has been making cool portable consoles. In fact, I'd rather people do that than do what Ask.com is doing with Excite, but you know, it's not hurting anything. Because the brand died when the product did, and trying to pivot a brand instead of creating a new one makes me cynical about the quality of the new product. That's why brands work, right? Whenever people like, what's the difference between Crest and Colgate? That's why, right there. What Nick with a C just said. I have associated a level of quality with a name. And in this case, it's a negative one, but often it's a positive one. Yeah, it's just me, and I'm not trying to harsh your mellow. And Stoic Squirrel's like, you trying to tell me there's no difference between Crest and Colgate? The story that I always tell, and I've probably told it before, so I apologize if you've heard of it, is my dad taking me into the warehouse in Coldwater, Ohio at the pet plant and showing me these pallets and pallets of different kinds of soup, I think. I'm going to say it's soup. It might not have been soup, but it was like, there's the Kroger Cost Cutter brand soup, and there's the IGA brand soup, and there's the Progresso brand soup, and there's another brand I've never heard of brand soup. And he's like, see all those different brands of soup? He's like, we make a lot of different kinds of soup, don't we? And I was like, sure looks like it. And Dad said, those all came out of the same vat. We just put them in different cans. And then they go into the store and they sell one of them for more expensive than the other because of the name on it, but it's all the same soup. So brands are just ways to fool you, honestly. They're shortcuts. They're useful, but people try to game that system of usefulness by, saying, this one's the Cost Cutter brand. We'll sell it to you for cheaper, even though it might be the exact same thing as the more expensive brand. That is not illegal in the EU, Nick with a C. You can call your soup whatever you want, even in the EU. It's not false advertising as long as you're not saying it's something else. If you were saying it's meatball soup and it only has a tenth of a meatball in it, well then yeah, that probably is illegal even in the US. But to just have meatball soup with the appropriate amount of meatballs and one is got Aldi on it and the other doesn't, there's nothing illegal about that. Yeah, generic doesn't even exist anymore. There's a few actual generics, but we think of generic, we think of store brands, but they're really brands, right? It's the Kroger brand, or it's the Aldi brand, or it's the Sainsbury's brand, or whatever. Yeah, off-brand JPEG. That's a better way to refer to it. But it's all the same soup, everybody. That happens in electronics too. There are lots of electronics you buy, especially when you get into accessories like mice and keyboards and adapters that are just the same exact electronic with a different name stamped on it because a different company is selling it to you. But there's one manufacturer. I mean, the chips that are inside are all from the same place. They're all TSMC, right? But they put different names on them. Anyway, where was I? I don't like telling people not to do something if it's literally not harmful. I guess that's where I was coming from. It doesn't hurt me any if someone wants to leave excite.com up. What do I care? But that's just me. Just like the Dharma Initiative products that were Dharma branded. Thank you, Stealth Dave. Or Amazon Basics, says Sunbun, which is a brand. Amazon Basics is a brand, but it's an off-brand, as G-Pig said. Stoic Squirrel. Well, Excite.com isn't exciting anymore, so it's fraud. You might have an argument there. It is very much not exciting. I don't know if that counts as puffery, but that is for sure true. All right, folks. I'm going to do a little shorter office hours this week because I got some stuff to do, and I'm going to go do Cord Killers in just about an hour, a little less. I'm excited for Cord Killers. We're talking about Yellowstone on the full experience, which is the full experience is where we watch 4 episodes of a TV show. It's the highest ranked one. It's lowest ranked one. It's first and it's last. Full first, ultimate, lowest, last. And we just watched Yellowstone, and it was really interesting. Really interesting. So yes, that is live, JPEG. It is live on Brian's channel on the Night Attack Twitch and the Modern Rogue YouTube channel. G James B, I really did someone not do that? Actually, we need to figure that out before we go, don't we? Yellowstone parody Jellystone. Because if someone hasn't done that, there isn't. Here we go. Yep, there it is. Well, they're holding the tension because you know it's coming. There it is. There it is. Yeah, but keep that music up. That's perfect. Everybody entering. Oh, it's the Chinese version. Okay, very interesting. Yes, I'm with Christopher, who posted a comment 2 years ago. I knew this must exist, and here it is. Don't send Boo Boo to the train station. That's a good place to leave it, isn't it? Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. This is really fun. We'll see you a little earlier. I might have to finish up the Hangout Friday a little earlier. So if you're gonna come by the Friday Hangout, we might start a little earlier, finish a little later. I'll keep you updated on that. Live with it tomorrow at this time is my X-Reel glasses. Me and Sarah talking about my living with the X-Reel Pro glasses, the X-Reel 1 Pro, and then Thursday DTNS Live. It's a Thing is tomorrow as well at 12. So I don't know. I counter programmed myself. It's because of schedules. Anyway, talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.